Do you guys know who Nats is? No, not that one. No, not that one either. Like, that one doesn't even make any sense. Ah, yes, this guy. For those of you who don't know, Nats plays for Gameleap Esports and is one, if not the, best Viper and Cypher mains alive. The way he uses each of their kits is something to behold, and the amount of patience he has while playing each agent is something we can all learn from. And he's kind of cracked, I'm not gonna lie. Viper and Cypher are both agents that require a good amount of game sense and awareness if you want to get the most bang for your buck, and Viper's pretty meta on just about any map, so learning her, regardless of who you actually main, is going to give you an advantage in a ton of your matches. And I'm not just talking lineups. So today, on SkillCapped, we're going over one of your guys' VODs that you've submitted, and what really separates the average gold Viper from truly the best and the best in Nats. So, to start this video, let's talk about the weapons you should be using as Viper, and it's something people don't really think about. As Viper, you're going to be playing a lot of close range engagements, as you're going to be fighting alongside or even inside your smokes, or you'll be playing the retake with your team, spraying through smokes as the enemy team is trying to execute onto site. So this means that weapons like the Phantom, Ghost, or Spectre are going to be your best choices during the buy phase. This is because most of these weapons are good at medium to close range, and the enemies can't see your tracers as you're spraying through your smokes. Let's take a look at a first clip from our VOD review.
I'll anchor A.
Enemies in attacker spawn.
I'm holding place here, just careful there.
So while the Viper has the right idea here with her loadout, it's important for her to realize that she'd be playing a much closer angle, and not to get that longer range engagement to a Vandal. Her double doors is covered by her teammate, and tucking herself into bricks, or even an Ivy, combined with her smokes, would put herself in a much better position than that stairs angle that she took. Now, let's take a look at Nats' Viper. Notice how close he's playing to his utility. Anyone that even thinks of pushing this wall is going to get demolished. Even if his smoke runs out, he's able to retreat to generator, or even backside to play for the retake. He's not afraid to play close to his wall, and get ready to kill some guys. Just watch. Okay, so the first kill was a nasty flick, I'll be honest, but Nats had the time to react because they pushed through his wall. And again, because of his utility, he was able to isolate the second kill and really win his team the round. Now, in case you want to learn how to play Viper or Cypher or any role at this level, we at SkillCapped have ready produced courses for each that I really recommend you check out. Top 500 players show you the ins and outs of each agent and goes through and teaches you all the tips and tricks that they have for every map. Or maybe you're just interested in keeping up with all the map theory that comes with the game. We've got you all covered. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking for the fastest way to improve at Valorant, be sure to check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. Speaking of map theory, something Viper excels at is gaining map control. Her smokes hurt, like a lot, if you choose to run through them. If you're playing Viper, use this to your advantage. On Icebox, this lineup allows you to scale up the right side of sight without having to worry about people swinging you as hard from backside or rafters. While on Breeze, these lineups allow you to split either side through double doors, halls, or tunnel. And they're just really strong plays to run on these execute heavy maps. Let's take a look at our Viper and how she decides to use her smokes on Breeze. She tells her team that she has lineups, insinuating that she wants to play for them. This normally isn't a bad idea, but looking at the enemy team comp, it's going to be really hard to get the bomb out quickly against a Brimstone and a Raze. Duelists also play A site frequently, so you'll need to be careful of that nade that Raze throws. It can stall the plant out for a long time and do a ton of damage if not kill you. This round, a play like splitting A through halls or double doors would work much better, so the enemy team can't just funnel all their mollies on top of Ivy, stop the plant, and buy time for rotates. Let's take a look at how Nats is using his smokes to gain map control on Icebox. At first glance, Icebox may not look like it has a lot of map to control, but it kinda does. A site can be cut into 3 different pieces: belts or pipes, maze, and then backside. And with Nats' smokes, combined with his Sova's utility and no resistance from the enemy team, Nats and friends have all the map control in the world. Now, this round may look like Nats is sort of just running it down on the zipline, but he knows that Sova's drone just cleared all of that site, and his jet certainly isn't going to entry with an op, so someone has to go in. His smokes provide him enough cover to run out and wins his team the round. Maybe, yes, he did overextend there or overheat there at the end, but he still did more than enough for his team. His game sense is really good, and this is what separates a gold Viper from a radiant one. Had he just played for lineups instead, the enemy team could have ran out while the bomb was being planted and make it extremely difficult to get the bomb down. Next, let's talk about Viper's ultimate, and her ult can quite literally make rounds impossible to lose. But hey, nothing's impossible, right?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
especially losing rounds. In theory, once you use Viper's ultimate, the round should be much harder to lose as it's extremely hard to clear, damages you a ton, and just things get really messy really fast if you can't clear the Viper quickly enough. In case you didn't know, if the enemy team is pushing through your own or your teammate's Viper ultimate, you'll see them first, they take a ton of damage, and all you have to do is shoot them and kill them. But be careful, because teams just like to run in there like a herd of buffaloes as soon as Viper ults, so just be careful and get ready for a push whenever she uses it. And the most common issue that I see with Vipers is that they'll stand out in the open and just get spammed out, or they'll get Sova droned, get run down, not reposition after getting a kill, etc, etc. So the two golden rules of using Viper's ultimate is to 1, find cover while the enemy is spraying, and 2, don't leave your ultimate unless you're 100% positive it is the right play. You have no idea how many times I've seen Vipers toss rounds because of their dumb decisions, like walking out of their ultimate because they think they have a timing. But what happens is that their teammates are playing in the middle of the open in the Viper ult, so when the Viper dies, the thing comes down and they're just exposed to everybody, and it's then just a shooting range. Our own Viper in this VOD doesn't do this, but let's at least look at how she uses her ult. The problem with our Viper's play is that her pre-round buy was a Marshall, Shorty, and full armor. If her plan was to try and use her ultimate on site, why not just buy a Spectre? Even after the nerf, the submachine gun can still beam people, and it gives her team a much higher chance to win the round. I mean, don't get me wrong, this Shorty is great and all, but it's not going to kill that well if the enemy hasn't been in your ulti for that long. Now, let's watch Nats and how he uses his Viper ultimate. So to start, U-Haul is an awesome spot to throw it down, as it's one of the most important parts of retaking the A site. Without it, defusing is almost impossible. He uses it to give himself enough cover to break the Killjoy ultimate, but that's not the exciting part of this play. Remember that repositioning thing that I talked about? Well, once you kill someone in your ult, everybody's crosshairs are going to be trained on that spot, and you need to get out fast. That's why you see Astra dive bombing into it. Nats knows they don't expect him to swing out, and he's rewarded and wins his team the round. This is one of the few times where leaving your ultimate is a good idea. He uses it to reposition into a spot that nobody expected him to be. And he popped it in a spot where he can't get spammed, and he had a Phantom, a gun where you can't see its tracers. It was perfectly executed on every level. A beautiful play to watch. Next, let's talk about how you should be using Viper's wall. On many maps, and in many cases, people use her wall in order to retake the site. Here are good retake walls for just about every map. Here's A site, and B site on Icebox, B site and A site on Breeze, A site on Bind. This wall allows you to isolate each part of the site and retake piece by piece, bench, showers, etc. This one's good for B site. Here's one for split A site. This one is really good as it cuts off A main as well, and you can hold site with it if you even wanted to. The reason why these walls are so good is that they each allow you to regain map control much easier and makes it much harder for the attacking team to stop you from defusing. The issue with our Viper and our VOD is that she's using both her wall and her smoke on the same site, and the enemy team isn't even pushing her past our first smoke. What I'm saying is that this setup that she's running isn't bad if the enemy team is really persistent on hitting the site, but they are just immediately rotating when they see the Viper utility. So if she saves the wall for retake on whichever site they actually end up hitting, they have a much better chance at winning some of these rounds. By playing the retake, you allow yourself to still be alive and do a decent amount of damage with your mollies and spray through smoke. It's an underrated strategy that I highly suggest a lot of you think about in your ranked games. Lastly, this tip is for you newer players, despite still, seeing this happen in my Immortal lobbies. I don't know, but one of the most important things to know when playing Viper is how you should be using her utility to stall executes. Oftentimes, what I see from low-ranking players is that they'll panic and blow out the utility at the start of the round. And I don't just mean on Viper. This goes for any character really with a molly, slow, or even a flash ability. Each agent has some form of utility to stall a push. Skye or KO can pop a flash as they're trying to execute. Omi can blind, Phoenix can molly. You get what I'm trying to say. But if you notice that your teammate uses something like a molly, you shouldn't throw your slow orb on top of it. What you're doing is just wasting utility, while instead, if you communicate what you're using with your team, you guys should be able to stall a push for much longer than you guys think. So next time you're getting pushed on, take a deep breath, use one molly, and everything's gonna be okay. What I see done among a ton of lower ranked players is they'll start panicking at the first sign of an execute and just blow their entire kit all over the choke point. Sage will slow right on top of her bear molly, and while this can really cook the enemy team, odds are it's just redundant. That's all we got for our video today. But remember that if you're really looking to improve in Valorant, I highly recommend checking out SkillCapped.com. We get it. You're just a player trying to get better at the game. That's why you're watching this video in the first place. You're capable of hitting that rank that you deserve, but there's no shame in asking for a little help. At SkillCapped.com, we spend hours going through viewer-submitted replays to let you know all the mistakes that you're making. We also couple this with our smart commentaries to show players that it is possible to carry themselves out of whatever rank that they're stuck in. It might seem hopeless at times, but trust me when I say that we can help you all out. All you have to do is check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. So hopefully today I helped some of you Viper mains understand how you can be playing your agent a bit better. She's honestly a ton of fun, really strong, especially in this meta. She has unlimited smokes, one-ways, mollies that hit like a truck, and if you don't know how to play her already, I highly recommend you give her a try. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.